Hello, and welcome back to the show. I missed you last week. I had so much going on. We did a maternity photo shoot, I had some other work stuff going on. My OB appointments are increasing. So my week was absolutely crazy, which is kind of funny because today's episode is all about living a life by design and creating systems that work for you so that you can get everything done. And I say that because I do wish that I got an episode recording in for last week, but I didn't, and that's okay. And that whole scenario kind of inspired today's episode. So today, we're chatting living a life by design. My dad always says, fail to plan, plan to fail. I think that's the phrase. And it is so true. And planning and calendaring and creating systems and time blocking and all of these things around creating your most beautifully aligned and organized and systemized life by design is what I do. And I do it very, very well. And yeah, it's a little vulnerable that I'm sharing with you that I missed my podcast recording, just being real. But usually I'm very systemized and I'm honing in on that even more right now because I'm expecting a second baby. Things are going to get crazy. But when you live a life by design, you get the things done that you want to get done. Usually you're more joyful, you're happier, you feel more fulfilled. Hopefully you're doing these things that align with your values and your goals. So I'm really excited to share with you all of the tips that I have for you today. So before I get into how to do this, how to implement your life by design, I wanted to share that I am hosting my very first workshop on this topic exactly. I haven't decided when I'm going to do this yet. It's probably going to happen in late June, so you have time to plan and systemize your calendar around this event if you want to join. So I will leave the link in the show notes. I just literally decided today I'm going to do this. And this is so valuable. It is something I work with almost every single coaching client right now on is creating this life by design. So I know it's something that is so, not only is it necessary, it's needed, it is so valued, and it is so appreciated. So click the link in the show notes if you want to learn more. I will have the date all ready to go by then. It will probably be in late June. So if you're listening to this in real time in May of 2024, it will be about 1 month away. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a system that is 3 steps to live your life by design. I am also going to share, after I give you those 3 steps, I'm going to share a few things. I wrote them down. I have about 6 things on my list that really, really help me hone in on my system, keep me from being distracted, and just more organized that I think will help you too. So I'll give you those after I go through this system. Okay. So the first thing before I get into all of the steps is when you are creating a system, it is so necessary to create a cushion. What do I mean by a cushion? So say you're calendaring out your day and you have a workout on your list, you have cooking a meal on your list, you have getting a project done for work, and you have them listed out like at 7 a.m. I'm doing a workout. At 8 a.m., I am preparing my breakfast. At 9 a.m., I am starting this project for work. Okay. Think about the past when you have maybe scheduled these things out. If you haven't, that's okay. That's why we're here, right? To start this implementation process of creating a system. But when you do this day to day, like say you do a workout and you make your breakfast and you do work Monday through Friday, does it actually take you that amount of time that you've set to do it, or does it not? For me, creating a cushion is so key. It keeps me from getting down on myself if I go over my time. It allows for other things to come up. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But creating a cushion when you jump into this and what I'm about to share with you is so important. Do what works for you. I don't know what works for you. What works for me is going to be different than what works for you. Maybe you have little kids running around and they might distract you if you don't have help. So just plan ahead for those instances. So create a cushion in your calendar. It will make you so much less frantic, so much less chaotic. And that is a big tip that I've learned. Okay, so I'm going to kind of frame this around growing and expanding as a human being when you are implementing this system. So the very first step, if you are looking to achieve a goal, get better at something, grow, evolve, whatever, the very first thing to do is to do a brain dump. What does that mean? It means sit down, write it down. You can do this digitally. You can do it in a notebook. Do what works for you. Personally, I like digital because it's just all in one place for me. And then I can transfer things to my calendar as needed or in other various places on my Google Drive, which is where I organize things. So I'm going to give you an example because you might be like, okay, brain dump. How does this apply to what I'm trying to do, to my goals, to my schedule? So my personal example with this at growing, evolving, getting better, reaching my goals, achieving XYZ, and then moving on and just growing step by step is this. So 2.5 years ago, I really needed help with my pelvic floor. After I gave birth to my daughter, things were just not feeling right. I wanted to get back into my exercise routine, and your body's just different after you give birth. Pelvic floor therapy is like an amazing godsend, by the way. If you are newly postpartum or you will be, please do pelvic floor therapy. I wish I did it sooner. I waited several months postpartum to start, and I wish I had started sooner. So I went to pelvic floor therapy. I probably went to 4 or 5 different sessions, and I learned so much within that time. I learned so much during each session, which was about an hour long. And what I did, which I find that so many people do not do, is I wrote down every single exercise, every single tip that I was told. Because so many times, and I've done this before in life, I took tennis lessons when I was younger, for example, and I learned all of these techniques. And I would say to someone, oh yeah, I learned how to do XYZ, or I learned so much. And it's like, okay, what did you learn? And it's hard to implement what we've learned if we can't process it and practice. So the very first step is to brain dump. So what I did going back to pelvic floor therapy is I wrote everything down, and it was just a brain dump. In the meeting, I had my phone, wrote it down, or the therapist sent it to me. So it was kind of a combination of both. And that's step one. Writing it down, great. But how are we going to use it? So I talk to clients all of the time about this. Write it down. When are you going to review these notes, this brain dump? Can you, in a coaching session, usually they will share their screen with me if you are taking your notes digitally, or hold up your journal or your notebook or wherever you're taking the notes physically and show me. Okay, so show me the notes and tell me when in your day are you going to review them. You then make this a physical practice. So in my case, it was a very physical practice. Maybe for you, it's not around a certain goal. Maybe it's more mental. I'm trying to think of things that wouldn't actually be physical, though. I mean, if you're trying to get better at something, you're going to want to review the notes. You're going to want to do the work, even if it means sitting at your desk and practicing. So with the pelvic floor therapy, for me, what I did was for literally 5 minutes in the morning as a part of my morning routine. At that time, I would look at the exercises, I would look at the notes, and then, so that's reading the brain dump. So brain dump number 1. Number 2 is you're going to schedule a time to just read the brain dump, okay? Schedule a time, 5 minutes, 3 minutes even. That's all you probably need if you're going to do it every single day. That adds up, okay? So that's 35 minutes per week if you're just doing 5 minutes a day of just reviewing it. That time is cumulative. It adds up. You're going to get better. You're going to improve if you do this. It's so simple, I know, but so many people don't do it, which is why I'm sharing this. Okay. And I didn't either. I really did not. I was so bad, had all these goals in my head, had all of these things I wanted to get better at, and would go to appointments like pelvic floor therapy, learn techniques. Did I review them? Did I use them? No, not all the time. So this is where the change and growth happens. So anyway, I would review the notes, 5 minutes, and then I would physically implement. So what did that mean for me? And it might be different for you. Like I said, there might be something physical you're looking for, or you're trying to grow at work that is in no way using your body to like do a workout or whatever. So I would read them. I would go to the gym, and that is where I could focus on actually doing and implementing the work. So I would read the brain dump, go to the gym, implement those exercises that I learned, and then it became literal muscle memory. And for me now, it's been a couple years since I went to pelvic floor therapy. I am still implementing what I learned then because I spent the time, just 3 to 5 minutes a day at that time. I would say I did it for 90 days, and it has made such a huge impact on my mental health. It has made such a huge impact on my physical health. I will say with this pregnancy, I have learned and know how to engage those muscles properly. I know how to properly do certain exercises while I'm pregnant. I know how to properly breathe. And it's just made such a huge, huge impact just doing those 3 to 5 minutes a day. And it was temporary for me. Maybe it's not temporary for you. Maybe it's something that's ongoing where you have a brain dump and maybe you're adding to your brain dump every single week. Whatever it looks like for you, it's different for everyone. And that's kind of the beauty of coaching too, is when you have ever evolving goals, when you have these compounding activities or to-dos or new goals, a coach can help really organize and tweak things, hold you accountable, help you to achieve it in a way that works for you. So before I get to step 3, step 1 is to brain dump, write it down. In my case, it was writing down what I learned and reviewing the notes from the pelvic floor therapist for exercises. Step 2 is crucial, and they're all crucial, is to schedule when you are going to read your brain dump. Okay, you have to process it mentally 3 to 5 minutes a day, or 3 to 5 minutes 5 days a week, 3 days a week, whatever works for you. And then you're going to schedule the implementation process. So step 2 is kind of a twofer. It's schedule when you're going to review, read and process the notes, and schedule when you're going to implement. So not only in this case do you have about, let's say, 25 to 35 minutes per week of your brain reviewing, understanding the information, you're going to physically do the work as well, and you're going to schedule that. So for me, in my case, it looked like 35 minutes per week of reviewing the brain dump. And there was new information added. So it wasn't totally repetitive where I was reading the same thing over and over. Some of it was. And once I got it and it became muscle memory, that was fine. And I moved on to the next thing. But scheduling the time to physically do the work, because that part is so important. That is where the muscle memory comes in. That is where habits start to kick in, where we're scheduling and following through with what it is that we want to do and living this life by design. So where can you include doing the physical work on your schedule? For me, it was during my workouts. So what I would do is I would first do the pelvic floor therapy exercises. I would lay down a mat at the gym and do the breathing exercises and the other exercises I was taught. And then I would move on to my quote unquote regular workout. Now, some of my regular workout moves, the weightlifting, and I did spin. I'm not doing it now. I miss it so much. I can't wait to do it again after I have this baby. So I would implement what I learned into some of those techniques, because I did learn how to properly move my body and breathe during those exercises. So I was doing about, and I still do, my workouts have slowed down since at 36 weeks pregnant, but my workouts would be about 45 minutes to an hour long. So total, it was about, 8-ish hours, almost 8 hours per week, just focused on growing in this area. And when I tell you, it has paid dividends now, 2 years later, on my lifestyle. Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful. Imagine if you could do this in many areas of your life that you are looking to improve. 8 hours a week, that is a lot. You can find the time. You can stop scrolling on your phone. There are other things, and I'm going to share some tips with you in a minute on like eliminating distractions and all of that. So schedule the time. That's number 2. So number 3 in this framework, and I kind of just went over it, is applying the teachings or techniques, whatever it is, to your day. So you scheduled it, and I got a little bit ahead of myself where I was talking about me going and actually doing the work. That's what you're going to do. So you're going to schedule it. You're going to schedule the brain dump when you're going to review the brain dump, and you're going to schedule when you are going to physically do the work and apply the teachings. So in my case with pelvic floor therapy, like I said, I would go to the gym for about 45 minutes to an hour every single day. And that added up to about 8 hours a week if you count the brain dump activities and review per week with actually applying the teachings. It is so simple. Like I said, it gets to be simple. It gets to be easy. Dare I say easy? Because I don't know. It's not easy for a lot of people to do this. And that is why a life without design can be chaotic. It can feel erratic. It can feel all over the place because it's not always easy. This might sound easy in practice, but will you actually do it? So, nothing happens by chance around creating and sustaining and achieving goals, creating new habits for yourself, getting better, growing as a person. It's not usually going to happen by chance. No one is exempt from this. You have to create this framework, you have to stick with it, and I promise you, you will see a change. If you need more of this, it's called coaching. And this is why I am starting workshops. I've decided I'm going to do at least like a minimum of one workshop per month. Now, it's not always going to be around this topic. The workshops will be focused around very popular topics, what is very relevant, what I think will really help you. So take advantage. Sign up. It's super affordable. I would love to have you there. I also do one-on-one coaching, and you can reach out to me for that. I will have all of the info in the show notes. Okay, so that is your framework. Now I'm going to share with you, I have 6 things written down here, and I can get really specific on some of these maybe in a future episode. So let me know if you would like that. But I'm going to give you some tips to further help you manage your time. And these are very personal things to me, but maybe they will apply to you too. You can take what you like. Okay. So the first thing is this is mostly just around eliminating distractions and keeping myself focused around time. First thing is I do not watch any TV really. I just finished watching Curb Your Enthusiasm, and that is the one show that I will watch when it's on, but that is even scheduled when it was on. I'm so sad it's over, by the way. If you are a Curb lover, let me know. So I don't watch TV. We don't even own a TV, which is great. That helps. Not having a TV really, really helps. Although a lot of us just use our phones now. I do watch YouTube videos, but I multitask if I'm watching a video. So I'll watch something while I'm doing my makeup or while I'm doing the dishes. I'm never just sitting watching a YouTube video. So I don't watch TV. I try to never waste time. And this really changed for me when I became a mom, because I have to be more strategic with my time as a mom. I don't have somebody helping me all the time. So I have to really be strategic, be very systemized. And so I don't waste time. I don't mindlessly sit on the couch and scroll. I am guilty of scrolling sometimes during nap time, trying to be better about that. So I am in no way perfect, but I really try to eliminate time wasters. Like social media is a big one, the scrolling. And I know it is for a lot of people. I also really, really thoughtfully make self-care a priority. So an example of this, and we could do so many episodes on self-care, that is my jam as well. I make sure I'm going to bed early. I don't like how I feel if I go to bed late. I don't like waking up groggy. I like waking up energized. I have my routine in the morning. And I plan my day around, it's kind of like a baby. If you're a mom, you've heard the term awake window. What are you going to get done in the wake window? What is your baby doing in the wake window? I think of that for myself too, is I need to thoughtfully make the time in my wake window. Okay, I'm sleeping from this time to this time. I wake up here. Right now I'm waking up around 4:30 a.m. And I really freaking love it. I used to kind of poke fun at friends or family, whoever told me they woke up that early, but it is so life-changing. You have so much more clarity if you're going to bed at a reasonable time, of course, and you wake up that early. There's just so much clarity. It's quiet. If you have kids, hopefully your kids aren't running around screaming at that time. So you can get so much done. So I love going to bed early. I love taking care of myself at night, doing a really nourishing nighttime routine. I have done a nighttime routine episode on this show. I probably should do an updated one because it has changed. Let me know if you would like that. So going to bed early, waking up early, I have really trained myself to be focused, not easily distracted, because I know how precious time is as a mom, like I've said. I have also worked really, really hard on saying no. So what does that mean? Creating boundaries. If I have something that comes up that I just doesn't feel right to me, and I do go by feeling a lot, but I also go by what's on my calendar. Do I actually have time to do what I've been invited to, or this call, or whatever, or this appointment? I say no a lot more than I used to. So saying no, and you can do this politely. I don't think I've done an episode on boundaries, have I? That's another idea. I'm going to write that down right now because that's a big one. And maybe we'll do a workshop on that too. If you have any workshop ideas, please let me know. You can send me a DM on Instagram. You can email me. I always have my email in the show notes. Okay. So working on saying no. The last tip that I have, and this is such a time saver, by the way, is to simplify meals. So I plan ahead for the whole week. It saves so much time. What do I mean by plan ahead for the whole week? I make a menu for the week, go to the store, not every single day, which I used to do. I used to go to the grocery store every single day. That took up time. Deciding what to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner took so much time. And actually preparing the meals and hemming and hawing over what we're going to have, that was the whole thing. So really simplifying meals. I make the menu for the week. I go to the store once or twice during the week, and it's a done deal. I could go really deep into that too. I'm going to write that down. Maybe we'll do like a fun lifestyle YouTube video. Let me know if you want to see that. So those are my tips to really help reduce distractions and be focused and really step into a routine to grow in the areas that I am looking to grow in. I really hope that this was helpful for you, and I would love, love, love to see you at the workshop if this is work that you really want to hone in on, that you really want to systemize and create this life by design for yourself. So please sign up in the show notes. I will have the link with all of the information. Like I said, I haven't decided the date yet. I also haven't decided if I'm going to do like a 1-day thing or if this is going to be more like a 3-day workshop. But I will have the information where you can either sign up now or get on a wait list now. And the spots will be limited because I have limited space in my live workshop space. So get in while you can. It's about a month away from now if you are listening in May. And with that, I will chat with you next week. Bye.